Me and contenders ain't got no relation. So what you win if ain't no reparation? How much you spending on your preparation? I'm about them binges so to win and be the motivation. Determination is intention plus the willpower. Real power, pressure you should feel ours. Bills tower over us, I overcome. I'm overcomes. I need direct transactions. Don't wanna wait till you load the funds. You hold the funds and Joseph come promote the curve, demote your son. I overthrow the CEO. I'm taking over some. The chosen one, you throw me one, you owe me two. You holding one, I'm holding you accountable. Act like you owe me one. Look, every lesson learned is a lesson taught. Every blessing earned is a blessing caught. Promise I'm meek and humble and grateful for every bit. The head is heavy, so your promise have a heavy fit. The Big Dog Chico Show. That's sports talk. Scope up. Joe Flo.
All right, sound man, cut the music. Cut the music, sound man. Cut the damn music. We back with another one. Appreciate everybody checking in, no matter where you checking in from. Go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. Shout out to my people checking in from the East Coast and the far West Coast. I got a call coming in right now. Shout out to my dog, Cowie. I'll hit you back in a minute, Cowie. I know you see me on live right here. But we got something we got to discuss with you guys out there. It's early morning out here in the middle of the island. So, should I say the middle of the ocean? So I appreciate y'all checking in once again. We're going to bring up, of course, we're talking Shedeur Sanders, but we're going to bring up a situation where Shedeur got prank call. He received a prank call from what everybody thought was the NFL general manager from, what was the team? The Saints? Well, guess what? The video went viral. Well, I have the video of the kids actually doing the prank call. They recorded themselves. They did some stuff that, we see now on nowadays with these kids. They'll do a crime or they'll do something crazy and they'll record themselves. They'll snitch on themselves. Look what I did. I just robbed somebody. Look at the chain I got. I got a chain on. How dumb can you get? Well, they recorded themselves doing the prank call. And one thing is, how did you get the number? That number was strictly for the NFL draft. It was a brand new number. We saw Shedeur Sanders come on camera and say that his original phone number got hacked and he had to go get a new number just for the draft. So what I'm saying is that number got leaked to these kids. So I'm going to bring this on screen right here. I'm also going to bring on attorney Dundy West, who has some strong opinions about this situation earlier today. I'm going to get his thoughts on this also, but let me play this video first and get your thoughts in the chat, what you think about this. Here we go. Hate to give these guys some shine, but it's needed for this situation right here. Exhibit Dorky number 1.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing there.
Hey, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yo, that's sad right there. Y'all taking the time out of y'all little dorm life or frat life, whatever it is, to perform this and to do this. And you put it on tape so everybody can know who you are and what you've done. So I want to see what you guys think about that in the chat. I want to give my opinion, but first we're going to bring on our guest. Our first guest right now. This is attorney. I'm going to let him introduce himself. This is attorney and much more, Dundy West right here. And he's taking a ride as he's tuning in. You might have to unmute yourself on that ride. We're going to get your thoughts on this video that I just played amongst other things.
Yeah. So first, I am an attorney, but I'm not here to give legal advice. The whole purpose behind my feelings on this is exactly what I'm about to say. Like, always consult your own counsel, your own agent, your own professional advisors. So nothing I say is meant to be legal advice. So starting with these guys right here, it's funny you play that. Like, yeah, they some jabronis, fans. I'm not impressed. But it also highlights what I've been talking about all morning, which is what's going on with Shedeur's camp. Why is his number out? You know, the type of law I practice is cybersecurity law. Why does anyone have his number? Why did that happen? And it goes back to my point, Chico. A really solid agent who is accustomed to representing players of this caliber, his number wouldn't have been leaked like that. It would have been a very tight operation about how teams, coaches, or whoever else needed to get in touch with Shedeur. Those type of things should have been in place and should have had safeguards in place where that type of stuff can never happen. So that highlights the point I'm trying to make. And so let me just back up for 1 second and say that I have a tremendous, the level of respect I have for Deion Sanders. To me, he's one of the greatest men, not just great athletes, one of the greatest men, black men that I've ever known. And I look to him for inspiration as a dad. Like, it's stuff that Deion has done for his children that have inspired me to be a better dad. So this is not I'm not in the Deion or Shedeur hater camp. My question is, why was he not represented? And while I think that there are conspiracies at play, I think race might be a factor or could be a factor. I think the largest fact is that the largest factor in this, arguably a disaster, is that he was unrepresented. That's my position. Unless there's something I don't know, that is my position.
Well, I'll say this. I can't 100% say that he's like not represented, because I'm pretty sure he's represented somehow, some way. But if you're saying did he go hire one of these NFLPA agents or something like that, I don't think so. But is that needed nowadays? Like, this is not the early 2000s. We've just seen Jalen Hurts negotiate a contract where he's the highest paid in the league. We saw Lamar Jackson do the same thing, and several others in the NFL do that. These things are laid out for you now. We discussed this on our show, where they have a table and a pay scale laid out for these players now. So what is there to negotiate, really? I'm going to pull it up right here on the screen right now.
Yeah. So what you just described to me is what I view as an attorney as a legal Zoom approach. If I'm getting a divorce, I can log on to Legal Zoom and print some forms out without having to hire an attorney. If I'm a landlord looking to, rent my house out, I could go online and find a form contract. Is that smart? No. And so what I'm thinking is that there was something. I mean, can we all agree that something has occurred? And by the way, like, when I'm looking at it as an attorney, my response to that is none of those scales. That is historical data, and it has nothing to do with my individual client.
Okay, so you're going to go in there.
Every single player has a different living situation. So let's talk Deion. Deion, one of the quotes that I love about Deion is that when he got drafted, he made a statement. Me and my mama never, I'm quoting him exactly, me and my mama ain't gonna be poor no more, right? Circumstance. Another player in that same draft might have come from a wealthy family. So historical data, although that gives me some type of guidance, it means nothing to me. And if all agents are doing is saying, okay, bro, here's your ability, here's your draft rank, here's the scale that you're entitled to. If that's all agents are doing, then I would argue that that's malpractice, because that's not negotiation. And so I'm not buying that. And so I think that what we're seeing is, when you talk about Lamar Jackson and all these other guys that are unrepresented, my response to it is, if I go and play Russian roulette, right? Where you get the gun and put one bullet in the chamber and you spin the chamber and you pull the trigger against your head.
Oh, man.
Right? If I go play Russian roulette, pull the trigger, and I survive, does that mean that you should do it? No, because you still taking the same chance I took. I just happened to not get hit by the bullet, but you can still gonna take that same risk. So all these guys, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how popular you are, I don't care your athletic ability, your academic ability, even if you are a law school graduate, you should not be representing yourself. I don't even represent myself for anything. I wouldn't even represent myself for a traffic ticket, let alone $100 million or a career that could be worth $100 million. It is absolutely foolish. That's why I'm putting it out there like that. I don't know what happened. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I know you know a lot of the and family or whatever. So maybe he had who maybe he had, but you know, I heard that licensed
You're breaking up
NFL
now. You're
PA
breaking up.
agent.
Okay, you're breaking up because you're driving, but
Let me
say that
adjust.
again. Try that again. The attorney and the agent are different. I think he needed an agent, just said, because when they are going to this meeting, they are saying Deion Sanders is their agent when they are asked. Shiloh just said it on Twitch. I'm not sure about that.
Am I back on?
And I don't think that he can be their agent. Yes, you're back on. Well, you were back on. We're going to see if we can get attorney back on later on, but he's driving right now. Let me know what y'all think about those comments, guys, because I wanted to bring on someone on here with a different point of view, so to speak, and just to see, hear his thoughts and what the deal is. Jaden POV said we good. Kay said Lamar Jackson mama is his agent. Jaden Daniels' mom is his agent. Yeah, people celebrating this misfortune is terrible. A lot of people have parents as their agent. I think he needed an agent. This is BS. Goodbye, Mr. West. Someone saying they call you delusional attorney. We're going to see. Well, I'm going to say this. Here's my thoughts on this, dog. Attorney, agent, no agent. I have a unique story about this too, but I wasn't no Shedeur Sanders. You understand what I'm saying? Attorney or not, this guy has, if not the most, probably the top 2 or 3 most, like he has the most film that you can look at. And that's what agents and scouts usually look at. We're going to look at the film, see what you did on film. I don't care what you did in the pro combine and a pro day. What did you do on film? How did you perform in the meetings? That's what we want to see. And this man has all the film in the world to go watch. 4 years on different levels, resurrecting teams that was pretty much in the ground. And you have questions. Here's the real deal. If y'all want to know from Big Dog Chico, here's the real deal. Everybody talking about this, that, and the other. You need this. You need that, and the other. Here's the real damn deal, dog. The NFL, matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up for you. Watch this. The NFL, heard somebody say the NFL is kind of like a military, right? Here's the thing. The NFL, they don't want, and I heard Chase Daniels say this, who was a backup for 14 years in NFL. And it's true. And I was thinking this the whole time. And he came out and said it, who lived it. The NFL wants certain type of people, certain type of guys, certain type of quarterbacks on their roster as backup quarterbacks. What do you mean, Chico? I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to say Jaguars roster. Because they're not going to be able to deal with, or at least they don't think they can deal with, Shedeur Sanders as their backup quarterback, having to go down there, run scout team. Then he's going to be doing interviews after the game because the media is going to be requesting it. Do you want to have to deal with your backup quarterback answering more questions than you are, or being requested for after practice, media days, and pressers and things of that nature, and then being asked after your trash starting quarterback is playing terrible, when are you going to put Shedeur Sanders in? They don't. Some of the teams and coaches, for that matter, they don't want to deal with that. They're scared to deal with that. That goes back to Coach Prime's quote of, "Don't let my confidence offend your insecurities." Don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. Come on, man. What? Just because I'm confident, you have a problem with me? You don't want me? What? I like what Uncle Neely said the other night, man. If I hire a plumber, I want my plumber to come up and show up on the job, pull up in his nice truck with his logo on the side. Him and his team get out. Everybody's matching, looking good. I want him to come up and be confident that he's going to fix my toilet or my pipe, whatever it is. I want him to be confident. I want him to know, hell yeah, I'm about to come in and fix the hell out of this. This is what the NFL want. And sorry, Nick Mullins, but you're just going to be the poster child for this, big dog. This is what the NFL wants as their backup quarterbacks in the league. They're going to be on here. They're going to get pensions for this. He got a 7-year job, been in the league for 7 years, 6 feet, 210 pounds. They said Shedeur Sanders was too small. What? Look at this guy. Signed as an undrafted free agent by the San Francisco 49ers, 2017. Then signed to their practice squad a couple of times. Re-signed with the 49ers. Signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Released by the Eagles. Signed with the Cleveland Browns. Signed to their practice squad. Signed to the Raiders. Acquired by the Minnesota Vikings via trade with the Raiders. Re-signed by the Vikings. Now signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars this spring. What has he done? Nathan for Nathan. But he can carry a clipboard. He can be anonymous in the background, inconspicuous, and just be that guy that nobody's going to ask for an interview for. No one is going to ask, when is he starting over the guy you have, or any of those things like that. Attorney West, you're back on, but you're going to have to start your camera and stuff like that. Okay. You're back on, but I don't see your camera. I can hear you. But this is the guy this is the poster child for backup quarterbacks. This is the reason why Cam Newton is not in the league, have been in the league the last couple of years. Too much personality, too confident. We don't want him as our backup quarterback. Y'all going to be asking when is he going to start? So like I said, this is not a hate or a knock on Nick Mullins, but this is an example of the poster child that they would love to have as pretty much all backups in the league. And if you don't want to conform to this, dog, then I don't think they want you as a backup in the league or on their squad to challenge their head coach and starting quarterback. Are the Browns back on the clock again? Unbelievable. Now, look like the Chargers on the clock right now. We're going to bring in Attorney West once again. Wes, what you thinking?
No, I mean, you made some good points about roles. You know, I was reading this book the other day, and the book talked about the concept of individualism. Like, it talked about how we live in a society that fiercely protects the rights of individuals, but doesn't really put a priority on what's good for society. And as hard as it may be to hear that the NFL has a way that they do things, if you want to play in the NFL, you got to do things the way that they want it done. Dion had to do stuff.
Pause right there.
Done. Like,
what is one thing Shedeur Sanders is doing that's out of line?
I didn't say he was doing anything out of line.
Okay, what is one thing he's doing to keep him from getting drafted by the NFL?
I view the whole time period between like the end of the season up until now when it's time to get drafted in addition to the the workouts, the combines, all the different tests that they have to take, mental tests, all that stuff. You're on a from the day you have that last snap into draft day, you're in a non-stop 24-hour, 7-day-a-week interview.
What has he
and
done?
I, for one, I can't imagine going on any job, and I'm good at my job. I'm really good at my job. But I can't imagine going on any job, looking my employer in the eye and saying, if you don't
You're
want
equal.
someone that's going to do this, if you don't want someone that's going to do this, don't hire me. That statement, like, at what point in time does that statement come out of anybody's mouth when they on the interview? Don't hire me. Why is that ever relevant to your employer?
Because
if you
he's
can tell me
saying,
how that's relevant, I'll concede. But that is an irrelevant statement. It was not helpful. It was not helpful.
That can be.
And let me be clear, because I know your fans on me hard. I love Shedeur. I love Dion. I love everything they stand for. I'm a diehard Deion Sanders and Shedeur fan. But I am not. But real fans will hold their guy accountable. And I cringed when I saw that interview where it's like, if you don't want all these things, don't even get me. Like, no.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't want, if I'm walking into a job or a potential situation where I could be hired for this. No, I don't hire me if y'all think that y'all getting just a backup quarterback or a guy that's gonna come in here and just be somebody else. So y'all gonna get me. So don't hire me. And what I do is I change the cultures in the positive way. I changed the culture.
Right?
Let me finish. I changed the culture in a positive way. I know what I've done in the past. I know what I can do. When you go as a lawyer to any place, you just came from overseas, right? Did you walk in there? How did you walk in there? Meek and humble? Or did you walk in there like, my name is Dundy West, I'm here to do the job that y'all hired me to do. And I'm gonna do it the way that I do it. Or you go in there, you do it the way that they want. Come on,
when I walk in rooms where people don't know me, I try to give off one message and one message only. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Okay? Even if I have a grand scheme of changing everything about the company, at the end of the day, I'm here to help. And so, it's this scene, it's this very powerful scene that I think every African American should watch. It's a scene in a movie starring Chris Rock called I Think I Love My Wife. And it's a scene where he's about to get fired. And the company executive bring Chris Rock into the conference room, and he puts a quarter on the table. And he tells Chris Rock, you see that quarter? That's you. You see this table? That's the company we spent years building. And it's a humbling statement, but that's how every player, regardless of how good you are, every player should approach it. Like, you're coming on an institution. Right?
Oh,
that's
you're breaking up. You're breaking up right there. You say you're coming into an institution.
Yeah, you coming into an institution that's been here longer than you've been living. There's nothing that you could teach the NFL at this point. I hate to bust his bubble. I love Shedeur to death. There's nothing he can teach the NFL at this point. Think about you. How old is Shedeur? 21?
22 years old, but what does he have to do about teaching the NFL? What is he trying to teach the NFL?
Think about your 21-year-old brain. What the hell did you have to teach anybody? Not a damn thing.
I didn't come up. I wasn't groomed by a Hall of Fame my whole life, dog.
It don't matter.
I wasn't groomed by some. It does matter. It does matter.
You could be groomed by Jesus himself. At 21, you don't have a damn thing to teach anybody.
You're 21-year-old,
especially an institution that's 10 times older than you.
You're 21-year-old. You're 21-year-old who have come up in your household as an attorney. You're telling me he hasn't learned anything by the time he's 21 that should have him at an advantage versus those guys who did not come up with a damn attorney as a father.
I'm saying at 21 to get on TV, like I say, I love Shedeur. I think he's as good as Tom Brady. I love, if not greater. I think he's the great one. He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there's a way to do stuff. You know, there's a difference between
And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's called code switching and stuff, right? Is that not code switching? You saying it's the time to do stuff. If I'm coming into there and they're trying to hire me, why would I come in there as anyone else? I'm coming in as me. Take it or leave it, dog.
Did he really come in there as him?
I would think so.
Did he really come in there as him?
I have no reason to believe. I have no reason to believe any otherwise. I have no reason to believe any otherwise.
Okay.
Every time I've seen him and been around him, that's been him.
Okay, so you've been around him like you've seen how he interacts with his teammates.
Yes. Yeah,
how does he interact with his teammates? How does he interact with his teammates? Give me an example of when he demonstrated leadership to one of his teammates. Give me an example. Because I know times,
whether
it's simple, which one comes to mind first?
Whether it's simply saying, hey man, we're gonna work out in the offseason. Season haven't even started yet. Y'all coming to get with me in Miami or wherever. We're gonna work out together. That's being a leader. Day one, right there.
Okay.
Actually going out there for pro day.
The point I'm making is he's an outstanding, unmatched leader on the field. And one thing that you never hear him say on the field is, if you're not gonna do X my way, I don't want to be your quarterback. He would never tell a teammate.
Pause, rewind. Yes, the hell he will. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. And shout out to the #1 pick, Cam Ward. There's a story right now that was floating during the draft when he first became the quarterback at Miami. And he organized it. None of the team had met him in person, but they had a group text. And he said, hey guys, 7 a.m. workout tomorrow. We're throwing on the field. One of the receivers responded back, hey, I'm up wherever throwing with Lamar Jackson. I won't be there. You know what Cam's response was? The quarterback response was, well, good, because I hope he's throwing you the ball next year, because I'm sure ain't. Your ass gonna be at practice, or you gonna go play with them?
Right, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that he's doing that amongst teammates who respect him, that they have an earned trust. He didn't show up day one like that.
Yes.
When he was a brand new fresh, he didn't show up day one telling his teammates what they will do and what they won't do.
And
listen, you get what I'm saying? That's an earned respect.
Day one coming from high school. Day one coming from high school is a little bit different. Day one coming from 4 years of college. I'm a grown man now.
No, it's not.
I'm coming in here with
you're still going into
when these NFL teams are bringing in quarterbacks, you think they're bringing in non-confident quarterbacks or anyone who don't feel like the GMs feel like this quarterback can take hold of this locker room that has 37-year-old grown men up in here. You're going to have a certain level of confidence and maturity to do that. And that's what
there's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
Every good quarterback that I've ever met or even watched has that borderline of confidence and arrogance is that line is very thin, dog. And most of them have some arrogance with them.
I guess what I'm getting at is this. One time at work, I got this, and I think every black professional would get this, which is, you're too confident, you're too whatever, you're too riled, you're coming off as the angry guy. And I remember going to one of my bosses, and I remember really complaining, what they're doing is unfair, what they're saying is unfair. And he gave me something that stung at the moment. It stung at the moment. But it turned out to be some of the best advice I ever got. I said, they're wrong about me. They're wrong about me. I'm not this arrogant guy. I'm not this asshole. I'm not this.
Uh-oh. You're getting yourself offline now.
It's your job to change the perception. Perception is reality, and it's your job to change the perception if someone has the wrong perception about you. When you operating at this level and there's $100 million on the table. And if perception wasn't reality, corporations wouldn't have whole PR departments that manage the story, that manage their reputation. It's a real deal. He's not going for some job at 7-Eleven. This is a lot of money on the table. So I just don't think all that arrogance, like I just don't think it rubbed people the wrong way.
Okay. So if my confidence,
and I think it's a lesson to be learned.
Hold on. What's the lesson to be learned? For me to be confident in myself and for me to go into these interviews, I must what? Pipe down a little bit, not be myself. Well, because I'm not getting that, dog. I'm not subscribing to that, dog. I can't do that.
What I learned about communication is that, and I'm not talking code switch because I don't code switch. What I'm talking is communication skills 101. If I'm going in a room to talk to a data scientist, if I'm trying to convince him, then we're going to talk data. He wants numbers. He wants stats. If I'm going in a room with someone that is in the mental health field, I'm going to talk to them. When you want to be effective leadership communications means that you tailor your style of communication to the audience you're dealing with. That's communication 101. That's communication 101. And so when I don't think he had a full appreciation for his platform and the power of his words. Now, imagine if he would have took that huge pulpit he has, and instead of telling all the teams all the reasons why they should not draft him, what if he would have really talked to what he was really trying to say?
I think he did that, and that's just a sound bite you guys take. That one sound bite right there.
And when you have a team in place, they know how to carefully craft sound bites. That's what I'm saying. There's too much money at stake to have a loose sound bite going out there. That should have never happened.
Bro,
but what if
can be taken? Somebody can sound bite you right now.
And that's fine.
A fan can sound bite you right now.
That's fine. I'm on here debating with my cousin. I don't have $100 million at stake. If this conversation was a deal breaker between me crossing the line to where I'm earning $100 million in salary and endorsements, I guarantee you I will have a whole team triple checking every word coming out of my mouth right now. And that's what I'm getting at. When you playing at a certain level, you got to play at a certain level. You know, and that's just what I see. Now, it might be things behind the scenes going on that I don't know about, but when he has that huge pulpit, the whole world, he's the number one quarterback. Clearly, he's the number one quarterback. We wouldn't even be talking about this. The whole world is hanging on and looking for a reason to misconstrue words that he used or what his intent is.
All right, guys, listen in. If y'all don't know right now, let them know who we have on the line with us. Introduce yourself. Let them know, just in case the chat doesn't know right now.
Yeah, my name is Dundy West. In my full-time job, I'm an attorney with a global pharmaceutical company. My area of law practice is cybersecurity law. I advise a lot of senior executives. So I'm just kind of like looking at this from that lens of an attorney. And again, anything that I say is not legal advice. I'm just really trying to have a conversation because I think this is something that really needs to, be talked about. Because as black men, particularly for black men that's in this society, like we have to be able to lead with confidence. And there's a fine line between confidence.
Hold up, time out. The pause right there.
Yeah.
You saying we have to be able to lead with confidence.
And the next
hold up.
The next statement is there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Okay. And there are professionals who can teach you how to do that. There are professionals. People have PR professionals. People have media coaches. There are professionals that can teach you, hey, I'm hiring you at X amount of dollars per hour. I'm the most confident, arrogant quarterback ever is. That's what makes me great. Give me a plan for being able to be confident, but not in a way that will alienate people who I have to work with one day. There are professionals that can teach you how to do that.
Is that just needed?
You don't
Is
have to
it
choose to be
is
confident or to be weak. You could be
it,
confident and do it in a way that's effective.
is that only needed for black players who are confident? Because we see a lot of white players who are confident, and this doesn't seem to have a problem. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to be a race baiter or anything. I'm just asking. Serious question. Because you
I
see
hear
that
your
with Johnny
question.
Manziel. You see that for
I hear,
Baker Mayfield. You saw that with most quarterbacks. They're confident in themselves.
I hear your question loud and clear. Make no mistake about it. Like the NFL, like most powerful institutions, like they struggle. They struggle with getting it right. They struggle with that. What I would say is that I'll be interested in the following statistic. What percentage of white players have NFLPA agents versus the percentage of black players who are hired NFLPA agents? Because I don't see nobody talking about the white players letting they grandma represent them or they mama represent them and stuff like that. And no offense to moms, right? Because we know don't nobody love us like our moms. But we only see, like, that's what I'm trying to say. That's a troubling trend in my opinion. To have like even
I think that goes back to you're breaking up right now, but I think that goes back to trying to keep
Okay.
things how it's been done the forever. No, you don't need. No, we're going to keep it like this. You need an agent that's going to get 2 to 4%. Now, let me be the devil's advocate on this. Now, let me tell you quick my story, because had I taken the route of getting an agent, my football career had been a lot different. So I can understand what you're saying there. But once again, I wasn't Shedeur Sanders. I didn't have a Hall of Fame coach. I didn't have Smack Entertainment representing me in management part and so on. But myself, I was literally the guy that was sitting alone on draft day, fielding calls myself as I shouldn't have done. There was an agent that contacted me and said, hey, man, listen, I have connections and relationships with all of these NFL teams and Canadian teams. After the draft, you're going to want me as your agent to negotiate these deals and to get these teams on the phone to get you into camp. All I charge is 4%. Myself, I took bad advice from a coach who said, hey, man, you don't need not mind you, this is 2001 now. You don't need no damn agent. They're going to find you anyway, which was partly true. They found me, but I needed an agent to complete the deal. They found me. They gave me the calls. They offered me the contract. I'll never forget being on the phone call with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're saying, we want you to come in here, compete with L.J. Smith at the tight end position. 3 years, $275,000 deal. That's what we start off all our rookie free agents with. That's what we're going to offer you. You want to take that deal? Me on the phone. Yes, I'll take it. Well, what do I do next? I'm thinking I'm good if I say yes. No, we're going to fax over a contract. What's your fax number? I'm sitting there like, fax number? I don't have a fax machine. You know? They're like, what? You don't have a fax? Well, who's your agent? I don't have an agent. Well, man, you tripping. We need you to sign this contract right now, because guess what? The other scouts is on the phone with their other tight ends. They're trying to bring in a tight end. We only have one spot. You was the number one guy. You don't have an agent? I said, nope. That was the last conversation I had with them. Bam. Giants call, Titans call. Bam. Same result. So I can understand when you're saying you need an agent. 100%.
Yeah.
That hurts my heart to tell that story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we talked about that story so many times, cuz. Yeah.
But at the same time, wasn't Shedeur Sanders. You
Right.
feel me?
And so if you weren't Shedeur Sanders and you didn't have as much money at stake as Shedeur Sanders, doesn't that mean that certainly he should have had an agent?
Hey, that could be debatable. I would say this. After all the stuff that has went on in the NFL the last few years, and people
I hear
signing
you loud
without
and
an
clear.
agent, and the scale that's set for the agent scale, I can understand not needing one. But I also understand your argument saying that's the pay scale, but a agent may come in and challenge that pay scale. Now, I'm not sure whether that's agreed upon and that can't be moved because of the NFLPA agreement and things of that nature. I'm not sure about that, but I can understand what you're saying. All in all,
And see, Chico,
I
what
still
I'm
don't
saying
agree
is
because
the
I feel
caliber.
like these guys is not about the agent. It's about most of those guys being offended by Shedeur's confidence / arrogance, if y'all want to say that. But every quarterback that's been successful has a splash of both of those, confidence and arrogance, period.
I hear you loud. I hear you loud and clear. I guess my only point is that when you have an agent that's the type of agent that would represent Shedeur type talent, if these teams had a concern, whether that concern was founded or not, I suspect that the concerns are unfounded. An agent would have had his ears to the ground, and an agent would have brought that back to you in a way and said, look, I spoke to a few NFL agents or a few general GMs. Here's the rumblings. Here, we have to come up with a plan to fix this, or it's going to hurt his draft position. That's what an agent can do. And this is also why we don't want parents, absolutely not, representing players. Because parents have what we call a prima facie conflict of interest. Because I'm always going to see the best in my child. And it's very hard for me to entertain when an agent is telling me that my child's confidence that I instilled in him is something that may hurt him in the draft. That's a blind spot for me, even if I am the great Deion Sanders. So you need an agent that literally has his license on the line to tell you what you don't want to hear, not what you need to hear. Which is, I'm hearing from several sources that that managers are saying that they don't feel confident about Shedeur. I have a PR company right here that can help him fix this well before the draft. That's what an agent does for that 4%. I got this PR girl. She specializes in arrogant people just like you. She was responsible for helping this asshole turn his career around. And if she turned his career around, she can help you do it. So what I'm saying is you can accomplish what you want to accomplish, you being as arrogant as you want to be, but at the same time, you got to have people in certain places. That's what an agent does. These rumblings that are just coming up, this should not have been a draft day surprise. And I'm confident about that. It should not have been a draft day surprise.
Pause right there. I would love to play. I would love to play a clip.
Shedeur's camp should have been hearing about this months ago.
Okay, pause right
there. Months ago.
Pause right there. Because if you listen to Coach Prime's interview presser after the last practice, he said exactly that. I'm going to go take a vacation because I know it's gonna be some bull junk that happened next week talking about the draft. He's already been hearing it. He knows that. He said it. What more could an agent really do? A PR person going to tell Shedeur what? Don't be this. Don't say it like this.
It's not that simple.
Wait. Time out.
It's not that simple. They do way more than just telling you what to say and what not to say. It's not that simple.
If I'm Deion Sanders, or if it's my child, right? I want my child to be himself, dog. Whatever that comes with that, I don't want to hear.
And if I'm Deion Sanders, I have enough money and I have access to enough professionals to put my child in a position to be himself, but to still achieve his goals. Risks can get mitigated.
You want to be yourself with training wheels on.
No. What I'm saying is the way it works is like this is how. And again, I have no knowledge of anything about what went down.
That's what the Raiders do.
But in the circles and the things that I've seen, there were probably rumblings months ago. The agent then flags that and say, hey, I'm hearing rumblings. Then a team gets together and say, what do we do to address it? And how do we address it? So that even if you wanted to have this hardline approach, even if you wanted to stay true to who you are, you still got the NFL on their toes. You could have had a PR team warning everybody that Shedeur is being treated unfairly, to where the NFL could have been in a position to have left leverage to do him like this. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Tell me a way that the PR would have advised Shedeur Sanders.
I'm not a PR expert. That's the advantage of the Lord giving us experts. You hire people and say, these are the rumblings I'm getting about my child. go to your drawing board and give us a strategy to fix this. People do that. Companies do that all the time.
I don't see too much of a strategy for a person that has been in the limelight since he was a
you're
little
not in
child.
that field.
And
You're
then
in that field.
wait, hold on.
Now
hold
you're
on,
thinking
hold on.
about you're
and
thinking
then,
like someone in Shedeur's camp instead of understanding that you're uniquely unqualified to have an opinion on that.
Okay, well, if I'm uniquely unqualified to have an opinion on that, let me speak on this then, God dog it. If
By the way, hold on. By the way, everybody, this is how we talk on the phone all the time. So I don't want nobody to think we arguing. This is a normal conversation going back to being kids. Anyway,
well,
go ahead.
what I'm gonna do is forget that. I'm just gonna go to a couple of comments. Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all thinking right now. I'm gonna go to a couple of comments and then go from there. Yeah, he said he wasn't qualified either, and I guess I'm not qualified to speak on it. But I will say this: if Big thought he was unqualified, so it's well, let me say this, man.
That's my point.
Yeah, he said that. You said it.
I'm absolutely unqualified to know what a PR person can do. Like, that's why you go to that professional. That's my point.
Well, here's the thing. Whether I know what the PR is supposed to do or not, I'm not sure that there's too much a PR person or anybody could have came around to do for Shedeur Sanders that would, quote unquote, change the perspective of him to the NFL people who have just interviewed him one-on-one, which is nothing really a PR person can do except for kind of give him a script of what to say. 2, they've seen him work out. They got film on him. What they are offended by, what they are afraid of is these 2 things. One is that confidence/arrogance, I think, and the fact that his dad could possibly come in there and replace that coach who is not even confident in his own self. All right.
Right.
Second thing is, because of the way how the NFL has been set up for the longest, with guys like this holding the clipboard and being the backup, non-threatening to your starter, this guy right here. You know?
Right.
My starter gets hurt or something, I put him in, I know there's no threat. You know, there's not going to be a quarterback controversy or anything of that nature that I would have to answer questions to. This guy's not going to be requested to have a post-game interview or anything of that nature, even though he hasn't played. So you want to bring in somebody with the caliber of Shedeur Sanders, already a celebrity. You want to bring them in. You have to have a coach and a GM and an owner and a team and a quarterback that's supremely confident in his abilities and knowing that he's going to be there to bring in Shedeur Sanders, or he's going to be competing with Shedeur Sanders. I think that's the holdup. Now,
I 100% agree with you.
It's not every. Yes, and it's not every team that that's in a position to draft Shedeur. So it's not the whole NFL. It's about a handful of teams, about a good 5 to 6 teams that can have him on their roster right now that would make their team better. He's better than every other quarterback on the roster. Pittsburgh, New Orleans. What the hell y'all doing? New Orleans would have been a perfect fit. Let me ask you this. Aside from everything else, before we get up off here, what would be the perfect fit? What team, what city do you think would have been a perfect fit or would be the perfect fit for Shedeur Sanders?
I mean, I'm a little bit biased because of what his dad played, was most famous for playing at. I would have liked to see him in Atlanta, bro.
Okay, see, Atlanta is off the table. He's one of those teams. Had they not taken that quarterback last year, they would have been in perfect position to have him. They took Michael Penix last year.
I mean, but here's something I want to acknowledge, because I want to make sure I didn't come off as like hating on Shedeur, right? I think he's gonna go down in history as one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. I know that for a fact. I know that this is gonna go down. Like, we know how this story ends. Like, we've been rocking with Deion since we were kids. We know how this story ends. We know that we're going to see Shedeur be a victor. We know that teams are going to pay for passing him up. We know that. We see this coming. It's like watching a slow train wreck. So we know Shedeur going to be okay. All I'm saying is that when it comes to the NFL with this much money at stake, You're dealing with a lot of fragile egos. You're dealing with fragility, fragile egos. You're dealing with people worrying about having to share a piece of the money, a percentage of the money that they've never had to share. Like, you haven't had a quarterback as big as Shedeur in a very long time in the draft. And I think, like, if you just look at what happened in Colorado and, like, how ratings and, the whole city changed and the type of money that the team started to bring in, I think that Shedeur has a very valid argument that he was due and that's why when you put that chart up, right? When you put that chart up about the salaries, the standard salaries based on what draft position, that does not apply to Shedeur. That's the real problem they have a problem with.
Okay, so if that's the case,
this guy commands. If you think about the crowd alone that he's gonna bring, the excitement he's gonna bring to the whole city, he's bringing something that I'll go as far as to say no quarterback in the history of the NFL has ever brought, and we saw it happen in Colorado. And so the real issue, I think, is the amount of money that they got to spend, coupled with, having to spend that money and then spend it while doing things the way that this kid was trained and brought up to do it. And all I'm saying is that that is a risk that should have been identified months ago. That is a risk that should have been mitigated. And looking in from the outside with no knowledge, that's why I'm keying in on the fact that he wasn't represented, at least by an NFLPA agent. Because to me, that's something that should have been addressed a long time ago. We're not talking about your normal, top 2, top 3 quarterback. We're talking about a quarterback that would have changed the whole franchise the moment it was announced that he had signed with this team. That's a level of money for even a number 1 draft pick or a first quarterback pick that these teams were not ready for. We talking big numbers. And that's what this all comes down to.
All right. Well, there you go. Let me see. Be on alert for the next couple picks coming up, guys. And I would like to see him. Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I would like to see him, but you know what? Shout out to Ozzie Newsome, the GM for the Ravens. He knows how to pick guys. He's been one of the best GMs forever. And he always hone in on guys out of Alabama and things of that nature, SEC. And we just talked about Shedeur Sanders having to go to somewhere where the head coach is confident, the quarterback knows that he is the guy. So the GM has to be confident and not offended by this guy's, so-called arrogance. So look out for Ozzie Newsome and the Ravens to possibly take him. Look out for. I don't even want him to, like the Saints and the teams that passed on him that needed a quarterback. Man, don't even pick me, dog. I hate to say it like that. I hate to say it like, don't even pick me, dog, because what are you doing?
And see, that's the thing. And see, I know how these people think, Chico. I know you're trying to close out. But see, what I'm thinking is this was also a strategy because, okay, what's the top salary in that chart you have? Like, what is the highest salary there?
$43 million for the first pick.
Okay, let's be real. With the revenue he would have brought to any team, he really probably should have got $100 million. But let's be real.
You're not going to come in there and do that as a rookie, though. That'll be on the next contract.
Now you're thinking like them. So
you're thinking.
We got to think about the type of numbers and the revenue that this team is going to bring in just from his presence. So if he was to be paid his true value, which he carries value on the field and off the field for any team he goes to, in my opinion, this was a strategy to get him in that low green zone or high yellow zone by saying you just in the 3rd round or the 4th round. It was a strategy to knock him off the argument that he was worth double of that 43. And me knowing how Deion think, and you know how Deion think too, I can guarantee you Deion wouldn't even entertaining no $43 million. because he know what his son was worth. That's what this is about, and that's why I'm saying, like, you got a strategy. You know, when you're dealing with this type of power, you got to come with your own power. This is like, yo, I need the best law firm in the country. We need a team of negotiators, a team of strategists. You know, and I'm not saying that they don't have that. All I'm saying
you
is,
still can't make you. I still don't think that strategy would make someone pick him who is uncomfortable with him being himself. I'm sorry. I don't care who it is, and I don't care what amount of money you're bringing him in for. He is going to walk in there and just be himself, and it's going to be some people that's why it's going to be that. So I don't even want to go to that situation for no amount of money. I don't even want to go to that. So that's why he can go in there and confidently say, "Don't take me, dog, if y'all want to change the culture of your damn team and your organization. I know what I bring to the table. So I can come in here and damn near say it. It's obvious. It's on tape. Now, if that rubs you the wrong way, then you are not the person that I need to be partnered with in the first place." So it's just like, what does the military do? The military, we're going to find the weak. We're going to find the weak, right? We don't want to even keep those around. We're going to find the weak immediately because we're going to rub y'all the wrong way, so to speak. We're going to get y'all out of here fast in a hurry. So all those guys who don't want to get them out of here fast in a hurry, let's bring up the strong going to stay. And that's who I want to be talking to up in this thing. The rest of y'all get the hell on.
I mean, I feel you. My only thing is, why not just come in and do it? Why make an announcement?
I'm being me, dog. You can call it an announcement. You can call it whatever else you want to call it. I'm being me. Just like on this podcast, people come on here and say, "Chico, you need to do something to your hair. Cut your hair, braid your hair, twist it up, chop it up, whatever." Man, I'm being me. You got a problem with it, then go to the next one. There's a whole bunch of lame podcasts over there, YouTube right now, that's on right now. Go listen to those bozos. I'm talking to the people that want to be here.
Right.
You feel me?
Who, like we saying, Selma, who fuck with me?
You fuck with me, I'm fucking with you. Now we can find out who team on be on. Now we got all the bozos out of the room. All the people who scared, because we was gonna find that out at some point. Because guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be me.
Because I promise you, what I'm gonna do is today I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna look at all the data available and I'm gonna do a full analysis of this. I can guarantee you that it's two things. I think that there's some serious money going on at play. I think that this is some type of strategy to lower his leverage for the salary that he demands.
That's what I think this is about. The lower he get drafted, the faster he's going to get to that big bag. If he would have got drafted one of the first rounds, he would have been stuck in that contract for an extra year. True. Now he's going to get to that big bag, that $250 million or whatever it is, a lot faster now, because once he get a chance to play, it's going to be OV. He's not going to be off the field, I think. And I'm going to leave it at
that's
this.
where you and I differ at, because I think that he was demanding that big salary. Like, he shouldn't have to play 3 years and risk his body and his health to command that big salary. I think he commanded that out the gate. And I think that's what the problem is.
Why would you demand that out the gate? That's a football salary. He's going to get way more money off the field, whether he's playing or not. That money going to be there, cuz he's not going to come in there as a rookie, no matter where he got drafted at, and say, "I know that the pay scale says $43 million, but because of who I am, I want $64 million." I don't think that's going to be the case.
It's not because
that money
of who
coming
I am.
in.
It's because of the type of money that I'm about to make your club.
Yes, we understand that, but that money going to come in. I'm going to perform, and I'll get that money on the second contract. That's what I feel. I don't think that wasn't even an issue. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it at this. Shout out to Bernie Mac, who once said on a classic movie house party, you already know, "Son, what do you say, son? Be yourself. If people don't like you when you be yourself, then fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them up against the wall with handcuffs on and super glue on the lips. Who cares? If they don't want you to be yourself, fuck them up against the wall with handcuffs on and super glue on their lips." Now, it sounds a little bit kind of bad since I said it in my head with all the stuff going on with Shannon Sharp. But
no. You said some real stuff, cuz. You said some real stuff.
Fuck them. So, hey, man, we're going to have more then with the attorney Dundy West right here. You know, later on these things, if he could check back in. Been trying to get him on for the longest.
I'm definitely about to do some research on this, because I'm watching this closely, man, because this is like an economic event that people should be studying. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we need to track this closely. You know what I mean? So I'll be watching this. So when I come back with if I come back with a different analysis, or I find out something that's kind of that your audience could appreciate, because it's something like our big mama would say. And by the way, our big mama had a lot of sayings, y'all. Our big mama used to say, "Is a dead rat on the line somewhere?" And that's what I want to know. I want to know that. You know what I mean? But anyway, hey, thanks for having me.
Hold on. We're gonna get into some of these chats these comments before you go, and also we're gonna see if we can wait for this next pick. I think the Ravens are gonna pick next, and I think this could be a landing spot for Shedeur Sanders because of the whole organization and situation. Gennaro said Dundy West schooling you, Chico. Okay, all right. See that you got some people on your side. You ain't gotta. It ain't all my side around this business now. You.
No. Hey, we school each other. We've been schooling each other since we were small kids.
Now y'all let us know in the chat what y'all think right now. It's time. Get in the chat right now and let us know. Let me see. Thank mouth Crypto Charlie said, and Crypto Charlie, you need to get you some Nafu. You know, Nafulu, Nafu. Go in there and search it right now. Prime Daddy fault. Too much mouth. That's what she said. They freezing him out for real. I think so. They play with his money and psyche. 32 teams showed up to see you pro day, and no other buffs taken but Travis. Is crazy at this point. I think so also.
Absolutely.
Let me see. He can't negotiate his rookie contract. 100 Chico Brown said. Let me see who's up. Okay, just stay tuned for this next couple picks, guys. Well, it's a job Well, it's a job. The boss / owner don't like you. You're not getting hired. Fair is a call in baseball. There's always the UFL or CFL. Well, he's not going to the UFL or CFL. And yes, fair is a place where you go ride the Ferris wheel and eat cotton candy, right? So we're not talking about fair. Go do your research. No Diddy. Real Facts Vaughn said, if they draft him, do you think they'll play him? Who is they? I think any team that drafts him is going to play him, except for somebody who has a established quarterback. He couldn't demand anything. He talks about, okay, work out his time. We're just trying to hold on to this next pick, man. I think we might have some here. Y'all just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hold on. Let me see. He tackled Cam Jackson, picked by the Panthers. All right, here go the Ravens pick, round 7, 243. Oh, that's Carolina. Sorry, hold on.
I mean, I personally, selfishly hope he go to the Ravens.
Yeah, that was the first. For everybody that don't know, that was the first pro football game I've ever went to. Was the Ravens game with you, cuz?
Yep,
it was that Ravens game. And guess what? It was the last one too. I felt so damn uncomfortable and mad. I felt like I was supposed to be on the field the whole time. I don't think I cheered one time. I was just up there imagining.
You was uncomfortable because you was like, I never imagined myself being in the stands.
I've never been in.
You was like, I'm not a damn fan.
I'm like, damn, yeah, what the hell am I doing in the stands, dog? What? I'm supposed to be down there with Ray and them, that and Terrell Suggs and them. I'm up here cheering. I was mad as hell. Appreciate the experience. You
didn't even know how to cheer.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, this weird. Hell, I felt so uncomfortable. I might as well have been in somewhere else that I won't say it just came to mind. Seahawks trading a QB. Let me see. This is the 7th round, man. Unbelievable. All right, we're just gonna stay on for the next couple minutes. The Ravens.
Now, whoever this is, Cincinnati just dropped the word, bro. Cincinnati just dropped the word.
5th round. I'm sorry. What do you mean Cincinnati dropped the word? What are you talking about?
Cincinnati had a post that said somebody named Cincinnati had just posted. You had just put it on the screen. It said, yeah, that's a word right there, bro.
Sound like they're freezing out anybody associated with Deion Sanders besides Travis. He was too special to freeze out. Unbelievable. What,
Yeah.
dude? Cuz, so you remember back in the day playing little league football, and I told this last night, and people don't understand this. You remember, like Dion been hated on for a long time. You
Mm-hmm.
remember back in the day when we used to try to emulate Dion on the practice field or something, whether it's wearing a bandana, whether it's high stepping or whatever, you will always have that one coach. Hey man, you're out here hot dogging. Who are you thinking, Deion Sanders? You know, you can
Hey,
tell that they never did like him.
take
Even back,
them damn gloves off.
take the damn wristbands off. The hell you wearing this for?
Right.
You know, ever since we was little kids, we've heard the hate on Coach Prime. And you think these guys forgot?
Right.
No, they didn't forget.
But see, that's why my point earlier was we know how this story ends. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's like we know what's in Shedeur's future. So, hey, they said the Seahawks by the pick.
Yeah, it looked like the Ravens didn't take Shedeur. They took a defensive lineman or offensive lineman.
So at this
It's sad,
point,
man.
what round are we in? Because I've been on the road.
I'm
What
sorry.
round we in?
It's the I thought it was the 7. I was looking at the wrong thing, but it's the 5th round. Oh, shout out to your alma mater. And once again, Ozzie Newsome doing what we said he does, picking guys out of the state of Alabama. And he just picked up an offensive tackle from Alabama A&M, 6'7" and a quarter,
Go
350
Bulldogs! Go
pounds.
Bulldogs!
Carson Vinson out of Alabama A&M just got picked up.
Shedeur not being drafted and it's the 5th round is diabolical.
Crazy.
It's absolutely diabolical, bro.
Got more film than probably anybody else in the draft.
It is diabolical.
Seahawks already took Jalen Milroy at quarterback position, so I don't think they'll be looking at Shedeur. Yeah, man, unbelievable situation. We'll continue to follow this. We appreciate you checking in, Dundy West, Big Cuz, and we're gonna have you on some more, man. We'll talk some more. I would love to get you and Uncle Neely on here to argue with each other, or not argue, because Uncle say he don't argue.
Hey,
hell, you don't
I'm
argue.
about to read.
Y'all would just be going back.
I'm about to read everything I can get my hands on for this, man. So maybe hook it up tonight or tomorrow.
I bet.
Because I want to know his perspective as well. All right.
All right. Cool.
Thanks for having me, cuz.
Appreciate
All right. Bye-bye.
the show. All right, guys. We appreciate y'all once again. That was Attorney Dundy West dropping his takes and knowledge. Y'all let us know what y'all think. And we're going to continue to watch this. Let me see. Dundy West held an L in gym class. Okay. Actually, he was a great football player. Y'all, gym class those. What did you have in your gym class? Still worldwide. I can talk about it, but I ain't gonna let you talk about it, nigga. You feel me? Let me go to these super chats before we get up out of here. Super chat, $5 super chat from AK. If you're losing a team, you should want someone with a mature, winning mindset to come in and motivate the team to be winners. Leading, not taking over. Simple as that. Let me see. We had a nice, healthy discussion right there. Currently watching the draft, they just announced that Shedeur does not have an agent. He stated that in the time that your agents are on the phone speaking with the team. What I'm hearing from the guy speaking, Shedeur should allegedly act as if he's a broken black man cowering down to massa. Please take a minute to like and subscribe. We appreciate that. Taylor made for the $1.99. You too, Chuck Watts, for the $4.99, and for the $5 super chat from Von Randall, who said, ask him, is Justice blind or is he still peeking from under her scarf? Note to you, she has been and will continue to do it for certain people. Yes, indeed. Shaw, $9.99. I'm not sure if the Blackball Shedeur conference call happened in the morning or night, but it damn sure happened. Man. I got dumber just listening to Dundy still worldwide. I said, damn. They should have never let them get away with the ish against Kaepernick. Now, here we go again. Laugh out loud, defend your cousin, Chico. You see how I argue with his ass? But hell, you ain't come in here and talk no dumb. It's talking about he ain't this or that. It's simple. Difference of opinions, dog. That don't mean I'm dumb or he dumb. Or you dumb. Difference of opinions. Should be able to have people with different opinions on here, right? Me and Unc have different opinions a lot of times. Hell, Unc call me this and call me that. We good though. But when I see him, oh yeah, when I see you, Unc, I'm gonna do something to you, brother. It was an odd call. Well, it's not Miami. Nope. Larry Williams. Oh, now. Y'all stop. He ain't getting drafted. Thinkmouth said they teaching him them a lesson on being humble and not too cocky. Man, that's the dumbest. Hell, I'm gonna be all this humble talk, man. What? UFL or CFL? Humble yourself. Humble these. The prank call had to involve an insider. Yes, that's why I was getting that, Fila. Why is Pat Sherman not fired already for his reckless statements? I don't know what he said that was reckless. Type O, Browns on the clock. UFL happy right now. Man, I'm almost like F the Browns and F the Saints too. Y'all dummy for life. Man, the Browns could have had both of them. Dummies for life. What? If I'm the Cookie Crunch, I appreciate I'm healthy and glowing. I'm probably sweating a little bit, but I'm right in this camera. Right in the light in this morning time. So hey, it's all good. Appreciate you guys for checking in once again. Y'all get in the chat right now and comment with your city and your state so I can give a shout out on the next one. We will be highlighting comments on Uncle Chico Live tomorrow night. Actually, we're gonna do Uncle Chico Live tonight. Y'all stay tuned for that. We're going live tonight. After the draft is over, we're going live tonight. ATL in the building. Pat compares Shedeur to Daniel Jones. What? See? Yeah, I appreciate that. The Texas Truth. That wasn't his goal to go to the CFL or UFL. And I think that's what they'll be looking for. They would love for that to happen. Browns added Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett in their quarterback room. Now they're on the clock once again. Y'all, they're showing the GM and the head coach. Man, either y'all some scary guys, some non-confident guys, or y'all just plumb dumb. These two guys right here. I know the coach is supposed to be a good coach, Kevin Stefanski. What if I gotta look at it and read his name? We'll say his name, whatever the hell his name is. He got a nice beard though. But y'all dumb as a sack of rocks. You never had a quarterback in Cleveland for the longest, and you go hire and bring in Joe Flacco when you got Shedeur Sanders right there. Joe Flacco could be my backup. Teams got together and did this. That's collusion right there. Unbelievable. It's sad situation, real sad situation. But you know what? I'm going to get happy. About to go eat some breakfast, get a couple hugs, and then I'm going to come back on later on with my dog, Uncle Neely. All right? Y'all know what to do. You know what to do, and you know what to do too. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, join, share this thing. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all the other good stuff. I know you guys are on more social media than just YouTube. So get on there and follow your dog because I'm going to keep you updated for more. This is the season of live streaming from the Big Dog Chico, so y'all stay tuned. Shout out to the Morning Run. Shout out to the Brickheim Network. Shout out to Dukes the Scoop. Uncle Chico Live. It's the biggest dog of them all. Chico to the scene, the place to be, coming to you live and direct from the middle of the ocean. If you don't already, go get you some Nafulu, some crypto. NAFULOO. Get you some Nafulu right now. Give me my theme music, please.
Me and contenders ain't got no relation. So what you win if ain't no reparation? How much you spending on your preparation?
Did Cleveland just draft
so
him?
to win and be the motivation.
Hold on.
Determination is intention plus the willpower.
Hold on. Did Cleveland just draft him? Did the two stupid dogs, the dummies who I just called them, just draft him? They must have heard me calling them dummies. Y'all finally pulled the trigger after all this time. You signed Kenny Pickett and you signed Joe Flacco and you wait to Shedeur go to the Browns? Man, boy, y'all lame. Y'all should have been done that. You're lame. You're scared. About damn time. Damn Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. Y'all give it up, man. Shedeur Sanders to the Cleveland Browns. My namesake, the Cleveland Browns. I used to always cheer for them just because they had my name on their jersey. And now I got even more of a reason to cheer for them. Now, I would say this. Shedeur to the Browns. I will say this. Not the ideal place that I wanted him to go because, of course, it's Cleveland, right? What I'm going to say is this. This is where the NFL wanted him to go. This is where the NFL wanted him to go because this is the place where people go to die. Their career to die. But when Shedeur go and resurrect the Cleveland Browns, when he resurrects the Cleveland Browns, let's hear the pick. Let's hear the damn pick. When he resurrect the Cleveland Browns, Cleveland, stand up. Where all my Ohio natives at? Stand up. Seahawks trade. Pick number 144. And the crowd goes crazy. It's about damn time y'all make my dog wait this whole damn time, man. Now the Cleveland Browns, they take Shedeur Sanders. They could have had Shedeur and Travis, though, dog. Here's the thing. They could have had Shedeur and Travis. But now they take the gunslinger out of Colorado. He's a point guard, is what they're saying. His accuracy, his toughness, of course. 6'1.5", 212 pounds. Shedeur Sanders out of Cedar Hill, Texas, baby. Formerly of Jackson State. And went up to Colorado, the Golden Arm Award winner. Give it up for Shedeur damn Sanders, man. Perfect timing. Oh, now. That's what I'm talking about. Going to the Cleveland damn Browns. Yeah. Got to get me a Browns jersey now. I had to call them names and everything for them to take my boy. They sitting there watching. Y'all hear what Big Dog Chico said? And they're talking about the sacks. Man, you got to have an offensive line, bro. Not sure why the Browns delayed. Because they didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to pay him. But guess what? They're going to pay him on the next contract. And Deshaun Watson, hopefully Deshaun Watson is healthy. He come back and do something. But it should do a Sanders time now. It's going to be cold and frigid. He's going to be playing against Lamar Jackson. Again, he's going to be able to beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers. Although the first edition of their rivalry or whatever might not be the best because the Steelers do have a defense. But Shedeur will eventually be beating the brakes off the Steelers, the Ravens, and the damn Bungles. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, put it in the chat right now. Let's go, baby. It's perfect timing. They could have had Shedeur and Travis. How dumb can you get? How dumb can you get? Perfect timing. Browns played chess for real because they picked a lot of people and still got their QB. They're attached to the Browns from the beginning. Okay, cool. You can say that. You can say they picked up some guys that they wanted, but I think they gamble. You can't gamble like that. God works in mysterious ways. Congrats, Shedeur, DJ Reed said. Man. Could have been great to have them both. I'm telling you, man, Cleveland could have resurrected themselves and had both of them, dog. Unbelievable. My dog got to go through prank calls, got to go through people holding him to the damn 5th round, and so on. But it's all good, man. It's all good. We're going to beat the brakes off of them other teams in the division. Y'all stay tuned for that. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's the biggest dog of them all, Chico to the sea, and the place to be. My main man, Shedeur Sanders, just got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. And I'll say by week, 2, 3? Probably the first week of the season, he could be the starter with Joe Flacco there. He could be the starter first week. Get into camp early and do his thing. But look. They're not. Hold up. Let me bring up my picture because I said this. And I showed it to you guys. It could have easily been this right here. Watch this. It could have easily been this. Yeah, dang on Browns. Y'all talking about the Browns did their thing. Y'all could have had Travis Hunter. Could have had Travis and Shedeur. If that's what y'all wanted to do, that would have really resurrected the franchise. They would have been the most watched team in the NFL this year. I don't care what y'all say. If they would have gotten both of those guys, Travis and Shedeur, they would have been the most watched team in the NFL this year. They would have had to have the Cleveland Browns on damn national TV like they had the Colorado Buffaloes. You hear me? For real. Bring in Joe Flacco. It's all right. Let him do his thing. Bring in Joe Flacco. But you could have had both of them, Shedeur and Travis in Cleveland. We will be covering this tonight on Uncle Chico Live, man. Shedeur going to think Boulder is warm. We're going to see about Shiloh getting drafted next and the rest of the Colorado Buffaloes. Good deal, man. Good deal. Y'all know what it is, man. Big Dog Chico, I'm going to be up and about this thing, man, for now. We'll be back with some more later on. Shedeur Sanders to the Cleveland Browns. Oh, now we in the building. Y'all like this chat up for your boy. We're going to get up and out of this.
Real power, pressure you should feel. Ours feels tower. Over us, I overcome. I'm overcomes. I need direct transactions. Don't want to wait till you load the funds. You hold the funds and Joseph come. Promote the clerk, demote your son. I overthrow the CEO. I'm taking over some. The chosen one, you throw me one. You owe me two. You holding one. I'm holding you accountable. Act like you owe me one. Look, every lesson learned is a lesson taught. Every blessing earned is a blessing caught. Promise I'm meek and humble and grateful for every bit. The head is heavy, so your promise have a heavy fit. The big dog,